Who would win in a battle between Superman and Thor? With the release of the first trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder, fans are getting their first look at Christian Bale's Gore, the God Butcher, who sets his sights on the God of Thunder. This raises the question, if the God Butcher can take on Thor, then who would take on Superman? The Man of Steel has gone toe-to-toe with gods before, and generally comes out on top. But there is one god that might just be able to defeat him, even if it isn't exactly an easy fight. To find out who wins this battle of the gods, let's break down the powers of Superman and Thor, how they might fare against each other in a battle, and who might come out on top. First up, let's start with Superman, the last son of Krypton. Superman is an incredibly powerful superhero whose abilities are the result of being born with the DNA of a Krypton, which gives him super strength, speed, durability, flight, and more. Born Kal-El, he was sent from the dying planet Krypton to the Earth shortly before its destruction. Raised by farmers Jonathan and Martha Kent in the small town of Kansas, Clark Kent grew up with the name of Superman after discovering his superpowers as a teenager. He would go on to become one of the most iconic superheroes of all time. In terms of his abilities, Superman is an extremely powerful force to be reckoned with. As the last son of Krypton, he possesses super strength, speed, stamina, durability, longevity, flight, heat vision, X-ray vision, telescopic and microscopic vision, infrared vision, electrokinesis, magnetic manipulation, weather manipulation, invulnerability, superhuman reflexes and agility, super breath, alternate forms, genius intelligence, master strategists and combat skills, and those are just some of his many abilities. It's safe to say that when going up against gods, Superman certainly holds his own. One great example of Superman going toe-to-toe with gods was in Justice League, Gods and Monsters, in this animated movie based on the DC animated film universe. The Justice League is made up of different versions of DC heroes, where the world is ruled over by gods and monsters. Superman is a Kryptonian who escaped his world's destruction as a baby. Now he faces off against his biological father Zod, who seeks revenge on the humans who he believes killed Superman's parents. Alongside Batman, Wonder Woman, and the others, Superman battles against not only his father, but also Darkseid and Ares in an epic showdown to save humanity. During the course of the film, Superman uses his power ring to turn Darkseid's Omega beams back on him, destroying both him and his army. He then defeats Ares by snapping his neck after the god tried to kill Wonder Woman. In the end, Superman defeats his father once again and becomes a true hero to humanity. But what about when Superman goes up against a god of thunder? Well, we got a hint of that in Superman, Batman vs. the Hulk. In this 2008 direct-to-video animated film, Superman teams up with Batman to take on the Hulk after the big green guy caused massive destruction in Metropolis. When Superman tried to stop him, Hulk ended up knocking Superman into a building. Batman then hit Superman with a kryptonite, tipped Bat, and while it didn't completely defeat Superman, it did knock him out. So even though Superman is a powerhouse when going up against gods and monsters, he doesn't always have an easy time of it, and sometimes he needs backup. Now let's take a look at Thor. Thor Odinson is the son of Odin and the god of thunder in the Marvel Comics universe. He wields the magical hammer Mjolnir and is known for his immense strength, courage and honor. Although Thor often butts heads with his fellow Avengers, he is a noble warrior who will always stand up for what he believes in. In terms of his abilities, Thor's superhuman attributes include godly traits, immortality, superhuman, strength, stamina, durability, speed, agility, reflexes, fighting, skills, wind manipulation, weather manipulation, energy manipulation, lightning manipulation, plasma manipulation, electrokinesis, electromagnetic manipulation, flight, size alteration, size increase, dimensional travel, interdimensional travel, teleportation, matter manipulation, resurrection, and healing. And again, that's just scratching the surface. Thor may be prideful at times, but he is undeniably powerful. Just like Superman, Thor has gone toe-to-toe with some pretty powerful beings and come out on top. In Thor Ragnarok, Thor is faced with his greatest challenge yet. Hela, his sister and the goddess of death, is released from her imprisonment and takes over Asgard. With the help of the Hulk, Thor teams up with Loki and some other allies to take Hela on and save Asgard. While Hela proves to be a formidable opponent, Thor eventually defeats her by using his newfound powers and working together with his friends. Thor might not always have things go his way, like when he lost his eye and his hammer in the first Thor, The Dark World, but he always gets back up and never gives up. So now that we've taken a closer look at these two incredibly powerful characters, the question is, who would win in a battle between them? When it comes to strength, both Superman and Thor are incredibly strong. They're both considered to be among the most powerful beings in their respective universes, possessing enough strength to destroy planets and bend reality itself. However, there is one key difference between the two. Superman's strength is derived from the yellow sun, whereas Thor's strength is limited to what he possesses at any given time. If Superman had been raised on Earth his entire life, he may not be as powerful as he is. But because he was raised on Earth and gained his powers as a teenager, he became much stronger than he ever would have been otherwise. For this reason, Superman's strength is probably slightly above Thor's. Next, we've got their fighting skills. Once again, both Superman and Thor are highly skilled fighters. Superman has had thousands of years of experience fighting various villains and threats, while Thor has centuries of combat experience under his belt, having fought countless battles alongside his fellow Asgardians. However, Thor's fighting style is more traditional, relying on his hammer and his godly powers, whereas Superman's fighting style is more improvisational, depending on the situation he finds himself in. Superman tends to hold back when fighting, especially when facing human opponents, while Thor fights to win, no matter the cost. For this reason, Thor probably has the edge when it comes to fighting skills. Moving on to their abilities, both Superman and Thor possess a wide range of abilities. Superman has super strength, speed, flight, heat vision, and more, while Thor has control over thunder and lightning, as well as the ability to summon his hammer, Mjolnir, and channel his inner Asgard. Both of these guys have a lot of abilities, so this one could go either way. Ultimately, a fight between Superman and Thor would be a close one. Superman's greater strength and experience fighting villains would give him an advantage, as would his improvisational fighting style. Thor's fighting style and godly abilities would also give him an advantage, as well as his willingness to fight to the death. However, the outcome of the fight would ultimately depend on the writers. If it were a casual fight with no writers involved, Thor would likely come out on top. But if the fight were written by someone like Dan Jurgens, then Superman would likely prevail. What do you think? How do you think a battle between Superman and Thor would go down? Let us know in the comments below. Now you need to watch. Who would win? Goku vs Thanos, or have a look at who would win? The Hulk vs King Kong.